Morning. It is Tuesday, June 21st, 2022. The Richland County Board of Commissioners are now in session. Commissioner Vero, joined by Commissioner Banks and Mears, our clerk Stacy Crawl, Rachel Troyer from Human Resources and Central Services, our County Administrator Andrew Keller, the wonderful Wendy Dillingham from SEBCO. Please come up to the chair. And are Laverne and Shirley on this morning?
Carl's on.
No, we just have one this morning. No Al. So
I have something for you that I think you'll really like.
$1 million for the taxpayers of Richland County.
Donuts.
Deflation.
I have a check for you.
Oh, or maybe it is $1 million.
I have a check for $3,000.
That might get us a gallon of gas for the sheriff's cruisers we're talking about at 10:30.
This is not like a premium holiday or anything, but we have a performance guarantee with Anthem
Okay.
on measures they need to meet. And this was in the 18-year history of SEBCO. There's only been one other time that they've had to pay out on their performance guarantee. This year, they had to pay out on the performance guarantee. There were some issues with ID cards, which some Richland County people experienced that. So on the performance guarantee, the first time that we ever had a payout from Anthem was early in our history. It was like 2007. And so that just went right into the general fund. But this year, we're much more financially secure. You know, we're 18 years in. And so our board voted, let's divide the money by the counties in the program and evenly distribute to each of the counties. So
Thank
give a check for $3,000.
Time in 15 years then?
Um,
Is it 2007?
Yep.
So what you're saying is
History, they've had not met certain things that we have in the performance guarantee.
on SEBCO.
So, well, this is Anthem. It did-
Oh, it's true, Anthem.
So this is a performance guarantee that, and SEBCO has this with all of our vendors. We have performance guarantees with Anthem. We have performance guarantees with Delta, with every one of our vendors. There are certain main things in there. A number of areas that Anthem did not meet this year. So that is your share. But we don't want you to think of this as a premium holiday or anything like that. This is just, we're sharing with you from the performance.
Well, all kidding aside, I would say we should put that into gasoline. I'm not kidding.
Well, I think that you'll want to talk to your prosecutor
Right,
about what you're allowed
The money.
to put it in. I
Well,
believe
luckily, this gentleman behind you used to work in the prosecutor's office, so he can
it
advise.
probably has to go into general fund. Something.
Right, general fund gasoline. We'll figure it out. All right, Wendy.
Okay, let's look at your first quarter of 2022. A lot of the numbers here are running 12, and it takes us through March 31st, 2022. So if we're looking at your loss ratios for the running 12 months, it would be April 1st, 2021 through March 31st, 2022. Your medical loss ratio is 93.9%. Your prescription is 121%. Together, it's 100.1. Your dental is 79%. And then if we look at the year-to-date, the 3 months, 79% on medical, 88.3 on prescription. Together, that's 81.2. And dental is 93.4. And what that just tells us with dental is that a lot of your members probably get their services because it's like annualized. A lot of them get their services in the first 3 months of the year. And then through the course of the year, it balances out. These loss ratios, of course, do include your high claimants, which at the point that we start calculating for renewal, we will pull any of the claimants that are over your pooling point out and your loss ratio would drop and would not impact your renewal. On your enrollment, for the tier employee only, you have 209 employees enrolled in that for 209 members. For the tier employee plus spouse, you have 85 employees enrolled in that for 170 members. For employee plus child or children, you have 142 members enrolled in that for 414 members. For family, you have 97 employees enrolled in that for 381 members. So the average for this time period of employees is 532, and the average for members for this time period is 1,174. As far as your membership, 52.9% of your membership is female and 47.1% of your membership is male. The average female employee age is 47 years, 6 months. The average male employee age is 45 years, 1 month. If we flip over to page 2, we're kind of looking at your medical and pharmacy snapshot for this 12-month period of time. Your per member per month medical is $432.53. Your per member per month prescription is $167.37, and together it's $598.90. Your per employee per month is $953.86 for medical, $366.89 for prescription, and $1,329.75 together. And if we look at the trend, we can see that your per member per month medical is up 3.1%, prescription is up 23.7%, and overall together it's 8.1%.
How does that relate to other county members, obviously with inflation that
Your prescription's running a little bit higher than if we're looking at Subco overall. But medical, actually, you're running a little lower than Subco overall. So when you average them together, though, it's fairly consistent. That 8.1, you're just a little bit above trend. So that's fairly consistent. 97.4% of your claims were in network. And what I will say is that's a little low for you. Normally, your Richland County, you have a much higher percentage of in network. There are some non-network services, which we don't usually see up here. Almost everything is network. So there's some anomaly situations going on that people might have sought services at non-network. And then if we look at the little bar chart down below, it's comparing the current year, which is the lighter blue, to a year ago in the same time frame, which is the darker blue, to 2 years ago in the same time frame, which is the green. So you can see for inpatient, you are down considerably over what you were a year ago and what you were 2 years ago. You're a little higher now for outpatient. You're pretty close to the same for your professional services, and a little bit higher than a year ago for prescription, pretty close to what you were 2 years ago for prescription. Then if we go to page 3 and we're looking at the financial utilization breakdown, your inpatient, when we're looking at that, breakdowning that $432.53, your per member per month is $98.20 for inpatient, $200.83 for outpatient, and $133.50 for professional. And then looking at your membership, looking at the pie chart on the left is the medical membership by relationship, and the pie chart on the right is paid claims by relationship. So 45.3% of your enrollment is for employee, and they make up 50.7% of your claims. 15.5% of your enrollment is spouses, they make up 32.1% of your claims. And 39.2% of your enrollment is children, they make up 70.2% of your claims. And I would say that's fairly typical to what we see. Children usually are around a third of the enrollment, and they make up far less
so
percentage of
spouses are a pain in the butt, huh?
claims usually run pretty high.
Remember that, Keller. You can tell your wife that. Commissioners say that spouses are a pain in the butt. No way he's gonna do that, huh?
Knows better. Good man.
And then if we look at page 4, we're just going to additional breakdown on your membership. On the initial medical membership summary by age band and gender, as we said previously, females make up 50.9, males make up 47.1. Your male age band of 15 years to 24 years is your largest percentage of your membership, and your female age band of 55 years to 64 is the next largest percentage of your membership. And then looking at your paid claims distribution, 57% of Richland County's membership have claims under $1,000 for the time frame April 1st, 2021 through March 31st, 2022. 11% of Richland County membership have claims under $2,000 for this time period. And then if we go to the next page, page 5, we're looking at the high cost claimants. And these are claims over $50,000, which unfortunately You don't have to have a large claim to have a $50,000 claim anymore as far as a significant health issue. You could have an overnight stay in the hospital and have a $50,000 claim. So your high cost claimants make up 42.4% of your dollar spend for this time period. They make up 2.8% of your total membership. You have 33 members with claims over $50,000. The total medical spend for the high cost claimants was 2.4. Total prescription was 1.1. Total cost for the whole county during this time period was 8.4%, 8.4 million. Then if we go to the next page, page 6, we're looking at the pharmacy. And of course, looking at your loss ratio, this is where a significant amount of your dollars are being spent. Your top medication by dollar spend is for the Humira CF pen. And this is used to reduce pain and swelling due to certain types of arthritis. The CF means citrate free, and the CF pens have a smaller needle and cause less discomfort with the injection. A single prescription or 30-day supply is $6,151. The prescriptions for Humira represent 11.8% of your prescription spend for this 12-month period of time. There are 45 prescriptions for this medication. The next top dollar spend is for Promacta, and it's a prescription used to treat adults and children 1 year and older with low blood platelet counts due to persistent or chronic immune ITP, which other medications to treat ITP or surgery to remove the spleen have not worked well enough. You have a single prescription. You have 20 prescriptions here. A single prescription for this medication is $11,105. The third prescription by dollar spend is Tasigna. It's used to treat a certain type of blood cancer. It works by slowly stopping the growth of cancer cells. A single prescription is $14,075 for a 30-day supply. Your top 10 medications by dollar spend make up 54.1% of the total prescription spend. These represent 190 prescriptions of the total 13,396 scripts for this time period. And your total prescription cost for this time period was $2.3 million. These represent $1.2 million. What I need to say about a lot of these medications that we're looking at there, though, is that they may be keeping somebody out of the hospital, where if this medications didn't exist, you might be seeing higher costs in inpatient hospitalization, and now you're seeing it in prescription. You also may see people being able to work, or previously they might have had to go on disability. So a lot of these are truly life-enhancing, life-saving, life-maintaining medications. If we go to page 7, we're looking at a little bit more in your prescription. The majority of your prescriptions are generic, purchased at retail. We do expect that we may see some increase in home delivery based on the Maintenance 90 program that we instituted in January. So some people may go to home delivery, but we don't think anything significant will change. It will still be mostly generics at retail. And if we go to page 8, we're looking at your top facilities. Number 1 facility for inpatient utilization and spend is at Ohio Health Mansfield. Your number 2 inpatient facility is Avita, Ontario. Your number 3 by dollar spend is Mount Carmel, New Albany Surgical Center. There were 58 admissions during this time period. Ohio Health Mansfield was the most utilized outpatient facility by dollar spend and services. Avita, Ontario is the number 2 dollar spend and number of services. And then let's look at the savings. And you do have some out-of-network utilization. We can see here the first line when we're looking at inpatient is 2.6 million of covered expenses, with the discount amount being over $1 million. Your out-of-network utilization was a facility for 8,000. There is no discount amount there that was out of network, and Anthem was not able to negotiate a discount with them. So your total discount savings for inpatient facility is 39.5. You also have some outpatient facility utilization out of network. 4.8 million is in network. The discount amount is 1.5 million for a total discount amount of 31.6 there. On the outpatient, though, Anthem was able to negotiate discount savings for the out of network. They billed 101,000 that was covered. Anthem was able to get 36,000 considered discount for a 36% discount savings. So your overall is 31.7 for outpatient. And then for professional, you had 4.5 million in network, 2.4 was a discount amount for 54.5%. The out of network was 681,000 covered services, 534,000 were discounted. So Anthem was able to negotiate a 78.4% discount arrangement with that non-network provider. So your overall provider discount savings is 57.7, and together it's 43.9% discount savings. Any questions on anything? If you go back a couple pages, I've given you a page that looks like this, and that outlines the claims by month, billed premium by month, and your enrollment by month. It compares you, and then it also compares you to Subco overall. So if you're looking at your loss ratio, your 12-month loss ratio is 93.9 on medical. Subco's overall is 102.8. Yours on prescription is 121%. Subco's overall is 118.5. You can see that many of the counties are not running really well this year either. They're all running fairly similarly to what Richland County is. Then if you go to this last page, these are your high cost payments. Pooling claim is 125,000, which means any individual's claim that hits 125,000, once it tips over that, the pool begins to absorb. So you have $1 million in claims that are being absorbed by the pool that is not being charged against Richland County.
Until you look at our premiums for the next year.
Well, your high cost, that will come off. I mean, that's not going to be charged against you. The pool, up to that 125, that's certainly going to come up, be charged to you. And the reason I called your attention to the Subco overall is lots of times when you're not running great, there are a number of other counties that are, so it evens out because the renewals are based on how the pool does. We individually calculate you, but then we spread it out and you get kind of an averaged out. When you see that Subco overall is not running really great, there's not going to be as much there to assist you in evening it out.
Right. It's the goods and bads.
I have an observation, but I don't know if you can have any explanation behind it. On page 8, facility providers and paid amount in network is almost the same between Avita and Ohio Health. But Ohio Health process 3 times the claims for that same amount of money.
Mm-hmm. But it certainly it may also have to do with why somebody was in Avita. There may not be as deep a discounts with Avita, possibly. Anthem has very deep discounts with the Ohio Health Network and their providers. But it also may be why somebody's in. You can be in for 4 days and have something that the claim is only going to be 75,000, or you can be in 2 days and the claim is going to be 250,000, depending on what you're being treated. So unless we deep dived into what the diagnoses were, I would suspect
That just kind of jumped out at me.
that you're probably, some of those hospital claims are represented here. So where you will always see high dollar claims are at any of the children's hospitals, because Anthem does not have deep discounts with any of them, and they do not. They across the board, it's a 5% discount with any of the children's hospitals, nothing any deeper than that.
Carl, any questions for the wonderful Wendy Dillingham?
No, not at this point, but thank you. I did make note of your campaign slogan, spouses are a pain in the butt. I find
Well,
that,
that still pales in comparison to when you quoted me about my wife's been practicing social distancing since our first date.
well,
Oh,
there are have moments, and I do put those up with a chicken in every pot. And in your heart, you know he's right. And if anybody
Right,
else in the room
so-
remembers who that was, God bless.
Daryl had texted me and said, you better get a hold of your wife. I was knocking on doors in the snow. And I said, why? He said, check the paper. And I said, honey, just ignore the quote that you're gonna find in the paper. Not that she ever reads anything about me anyway. So
Carl, I think the campaign slogan for this year should be again, are you better off now than you were 2 years ago?
oh,
There you go. Well, as long as the esteemed commissioner, I will credit him. He never claimed he was misquoted, which is often the case when such things happen.
fake news. Wendy, always a pleasure to see you. We like you very much. I can't say the same about John Lights, but you know, what can we say? Thank you again for your time and always thorough, and we appreciate it.
I'll share with John your comment.
He intended you to.
Right, oh yeah, oh yeah. So,
He shall feel the love from Richland County.
make sure you come back for gasoline.
I am not gonna talk gasoline. I know it's bad.
It ain't good.
No, it's not.
Okay,
That said, I will mention to you, the next time I may ask if since you have the ability, I may ask if, because we are watching our pennies on travel, I may ask if I can deliver reports to you virtually. Some of the counties, that's a possibility, some it's not, but
the only concern,
watch our pennies.
the only concern I would have is, the remote capabilities from an open meeting standpoint ends, soon.
Right.
So the question is, could we actually ask questions? We'll need to get an opinion from that. That's the only issue with that, is that
Yeah,
ends.
and if it's not a possibility, we certainly will travel, but the ones that kind of are encouraging it, we will. Actually, I'm charged with visiting to deliver checks right now, but I had a number of the counties when I was making appointments that you can do this virtually because we understand the
But
penalty.
Andrew, when that ends July 1, how would we be able to ask her questions?
You still can. That applies to board members themselves.
So we could still ask her, okay.
It'll be up to the board.
When if it saves Sebco, which in turn saves us money, you can absolutely dial in.
Please
I'm
send,
seeing you in 3 dimensions.
Right.
please
I
send,
like getting out.
please send this ahead of time because
We would,
if it goes up on the screen, I'd have to stand in front of the screen to read it. I'll get in somebody's way.
no, I would absolutely send it ahead of time. And I know you want to receive it electronically when I get back to the office, Tony. which-
Yeah, and I scan it too, so it's not a big deal.
Okey-doke.
Usually it's when you give us the giant, I can't scan them, but these are.
Yeah, I didn't bring it,
by
I
11.
didn't print it giant this time. I printed it small, which if you try to read it in the manner that I printed it this time, good luck.
If I,
All right,
Zipco will
Thank
be purchasing magnifying glasses for all of us, so.
okay, I have some amendments to minutes here. Stacy, I'll ask you this. If you look at tape 0.0549, when you have what appears to be a next paragraph, did you leave out a tape number there? Apparently, I don't see that from a form.
I don't have minutes. I don't know.
Here, let me show you. Generally, there's another tape.
No, I think I was just putting Carl's question underneath.
Okay, so that's okay from your perspective?
Yes.
All right, so don't need amendment there. Next, look at page 4, tape 0.15.34. To Sandusky, send down people. I think you meant sent down people. The only other amendment I would have is where I have Commissioner Vero suggested Teresa meet separately, Commissioner Banks and Mears to discuss meeting back at a later date. You can either add at the end, but he would have voted yes had there been a second to the motion. Or add, he was supportive of the request and would have voted yes had someone seconded the motion.
and also sure everybody's clear. Tape 054.12. the part that says, once the job description, title and salary ranges are determined, they can post it. That's for a job that is not a new job. That's the same job that, we already have.
Job replacement of an employee who
It's
was
just replacing Jim.
Yeah.
Right.
Motion to approve as amended.
So moved.
Rivera,
Yes.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Motion to approve requisitions.
So moved.
Second.
Rivera,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Banks.
Yes.
All right, motion, actually, we're gonna need to do this in two motions because there's gonna be a separate pay. So motion to hire Sonia Bargo, Stacy Oler, Brittany Schwartzentruber, I had to practice that this morning, as eligibility referral specialist 2 at $17.51 per hour at the Richland County Job and Family Services Department with a start date of 7/7/22 and a 9-month probationary period.
And these are not additions, smaller additions.
They're replacements. And then we'll need to do the second one. But those three we can do together. So I'll ask for a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
And then next up, I'll ask that we hire Danielle Lemming as an eligibility referral specialist 2. Also in Job and Family Service Department at a pay rate of $17.82 an hour, effective 7/7/22 with a 9-month probationary period.
Second.
Rivera,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
I do have some others, but you guys obviously age before beauty. So do you have any others this morning? No. Okay, so just a couple items. Spent all weekend communicating with AEP and First Energy. And I also had some conversations Friday evening with the Lieutenant Governor's office and the Governor's office, looking at available aid to the county for those impacted by obviously the weather event last Monday. Still early, but we are looking into that. I've talked to some trustees who've inquired. So we are monitoring that. I see Wayne County's looking into some things as well. So we're following what they're doing. Wayne did issue a state of emergency. Haven't done that yet. Not sure we need to do that yet. We'll wait. I just want to say that there's some communication with the state of Ohio on any aid that may be available. Special thanks to Joe Jakubik. I think I talked to more than my wife these past 3 days. He went into the office on Father's Day, coming back from his daughter, just working on power outages. Joe's been great. So we definitely want to thank him. And again, and a not so good news, I don't know if you guys saw this, came across early this morning. Sales tax, which would hit us in July, was sent to us from the Department of Taxation, and we show a decrease now year to date, even with unprecedented inflation. So as we have talked about, not good signs for us and or the economy when you have plus 8% inflation and you're actually bringing in less in sales tax collections year to date. So something to be mindful as we head into budgeting next year. President Biden says we're not heading towards a recession. Okay, whether you want to call it a recession or not, it's not easy to look at the graph and see where the stock market is going and see where our sales tax is heading. So that's not a bit of good news there. Anything else, Carl?
The month that you're talking about that now shows a decrease, which month is that?
That would hit us in July.
Okay, so it's for the month of April?
Correct. It's April collections that then hit in May that come to us in July.
And what is the number decrease that you're seeing? What is the year-to-date decrease now?
That showed 3% less in July 2022 than July 21. But again, let Pat do his math because we share with the locals. So, but I can't imagine it's going to be more. But I always wait to see what the official month-end figures are.
Okay, I've got to jump off before your meetings to talk about the sheriff's department and also something going on in Belleville. Could we maybe give you a call later, or Stacy, can you make sure that the videotape from today gets posted on YouTube pretty quickly? Or as quickly as you can?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I got, guys.
Okay, we don't have another appointment then until 10:15, so we will recess and come back at 10:15.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, it is 10:15 in the morning and we are back in session. We are joined by the wonderful Ms. Kathy Cutlip Mills, who was also busy during the storm event last week, assisting there with the emergency operations. So special shout out and thank you. And now she's got her other hat on. But now we also are joined by Lou. They couldn't send us Caudill or what?
I don't know where he's at.
So Kathy, wearing her second hat of the Pie Master today.
Yes, I want to thank you for this opportunity. to come.
Thank you.
And a couple of things, reasons why I'm here. One, of course, is to invite all of you, and I've given you a personal invitation to come out. And also to, if any of you would like to be a judge, please let me know. And my phone number is on the top of the form that has the pie. You could know of anybody who will post the flyer, which is the second document in your packet. Please do so we can do some more advertising. But then I'm also here to ask for your help in getting more bakers. Because of COVID and nutrition, our number of our pies and our bakers have decreased. When I first started, it was like 168 pies would come in. And now I think last year, and of course it was the first year after we didn't have it because of COVID, we only had like 80 some. So it's really decreased over the years. So if you know of someone who bakes a wonderful pie, please have them consider joining the Agricultural Society. It's $25. And on the back of the form, they can send us all in, and it will include where they can send their membership. Their membership includes 7 passes into the fair, and they can enter 4 pies. And they have to be in different categories. They can't be in the same category. And there are 10 categories of pies: apple, peach, cherry, mince, raspberry, blackberry, elderberry, pecan, lemon meringue, and their favorite or their family's favorite. Now, they can't enter an apple pie in the apple competition and then turn around and enter an apple pie in the favorite, unless there's that little unless in there, they change it up. Maybe they'll do an apple raisin or an apple caramel or something like that. Then they can go ahead and put that into the favorite. They do not, if they're under 18, their family member has to join the Agricultural Society and then come in. If they live outside the county, they could still join the Agricultural Society. They still get the passes. However, they cannot vote for the fair board members. And anybody who is a member that lives in Richland County can vote for the fair board members on Friday of the fair in the afternoon. But it's a lot of fun. If you've never been out to the auction, I really consider that you come out. It's fun, especially if we can get a bidding war going. I will tell you, in my tenure, I have seen one pie go for $600. And I discovered that before I got involved, there was one year where a couple people apparently got in a bidding war and a pie went for $1,000. Now, this
Had Angie Phillips bidding people up,
I don't know who it was.
representative. They're notorious for that. Shelby Weldon.
And they usually buy a lot of pies to, support the bakers. And we really appreciate that. And if there's any other businesses out there that would, maybe like to get involved, they don't know this is going on. And so this is an opportunity for them to show their support. And the every first place, we pick a first place winner in each of the 10 categories. That baker gets $4 and they get a blue ribbon. Then if we also pick out of those 10, I have 3 more judges, and I always have my judges anonymous. I never release names ahead of time to the press. And I have 3 judges judge the top 10. And then the grand champion gets a rosette and they get $15. And the reserve champion gets a rosette and $10. But there is another initiative for someone to bake a pie and enter it. When they're auctioned off, the baker gets 40% of whatever the pie sells for. And then the fair board gets 60%, and that goes towards the arts and craft building, to paint, to, buy things that's needed in the arts and crafts building, like the displays for the pictures and different things of that nature. So that money is used back into the fair grounds and things of that nature. So just come out and have some
I
fun.
brought the little one last year, you recall.
I did, yes. What kind did you buy?
Oh, I think my mother-in-law wanted an elderberry. I think about a peach. I'm trying to remember. I think about 3 pies. So I think my mother-in-law really likes elderberry.
And that's one that we only get maybe a couple.
Right, there's
pies.
not a lot for it.
No. And one of my volunteers, when I was on staff with RSVP, is there. One of my volunteers was a judge. Well, she got to taste the elderberry, and she ended up buying the elderberry, the blue ribbon elderberry. And I hope her daughter's not listening, but she paid $300 for that pie. So, but it's really a wonderful time to give back. And in 2020, we had a young lady in her teens who actually took first place. So, we encourage the young people to get involved. And
Lou, what kind of pie can you make?
Well, I made a strawberry yesterday.
Hey, wait, let's see what kind of categories here. Huh? It could be in your favorite category.
Picked them
All
yesterday.
right, okay, yeah, favorite.
as long as it doesn't have to be refrigerated,
Oh, it can't be a refrigerated pie.
no refrigerated.
I can make a cherry. I got some tart cherries coming from Apple Hill.
That could be it, Lou.
I only make about 3 kinds that are genuine, to take to public.
Next phone call that you call me, I expect it to be for a piece of pie, not for
What's your favorite?
I.
Pie.
Okay.
All right.
Anyone left in media land? I think Carl had to hop off. So Archie, Lou, any questions? Kathy, always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you so much again for your time. It's good to
Thank
see
you.
all of you. And I'm sure I'll see all of you at the fair somewhere or another during that week.
We're there. Oh yeah, we're there. Okay, guys, thank you. We will recess until 10:30.
Kathy, I'll put some in the paper.
has like less than 15,000 miles on it. It's been stored in some.
Wow.
Okay, it is 10:30. We are back in session. Man, when the sheriff brings the whole crew, that's always a weary sign here. So I'm a little nervous when Donald Zahner walks in with a radio too. I mean, woo, we got Jimmy Sweat, we got Donald Zahner, we got the sheriff, we got the major. I'm weary here. No?
Moral support.
Moral support. Okay, so first let's do a little house cleaning item. Captain Sweat just presented us with a request to dispose of a vehicle on Gov Deals. It's valued in excess of 2,500, so therefore will be disposed of by public auction. It's a 1990 Chevy truck. So I'll ask for a motion to permit that.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
All right. Let's take care of our other item too. We have a request to approve a contract for the 911 battery backup. Cap, you want to take it away here?
Yeah, so this is for the new system when we purchased and built the addition to the new 911. All the main systems in 911 run off a battery. And then obviously if the power goes out and whatnot, the live power or the generator then charge the battery system. That then so we don't have an interruption during the power outages that we just recently experienced everywhere. Our center stayed up. There was no issues whatsoever in the center. Radios, everything worked as they were intended to do, which is a great thing for us. It means we built it the right way when we did it the first time. But this is a maintenance agreement for the year for them to come out and do the preventative maintenance, and also if we have a problem. We did have a issue with the one of the inverters. And luckily there's a redundant system. So the system went into alarm. We called the folks. That's when they let us know that they forgot to send us the renewal, but they did cover the work under the maintenance agreement as if we did in anticipation that we would sign this. So we didn't have to pay anything for them to come in and replace the inverter and whatnot. So this is well worth the money. Again, they'll do the PMs. Also, time we have any type of outage or down 24/7. The closest folks they have is in Marion, so it's not that far of a trip for them. They can come over and do whatever it is that we need to have done, stay up and running. But
I mean, we budgeted for this, correct?
yes, it's part of contract services.
Okay.
How long can you run on battery?
We can run, well, it depends on usage, but if we stay, we consistently use about 13 to 15% of the capacity of the system on a continuous basis. So we can run probably up to 2 to 8 hours, depending on, and again, usage. If we stayed at that 13%, probably closer to 6 hours of battery time.
And that's only if live power fails and the generator fails.
Correct. And then we also have a third option where they can come and bring a generator, outside generator, and then hook it up to our system. So
I thought the third option was major riding a bike.
yeah,
Right.
that'll work too. I will take whatever we can get at that point. But so we would have a third option if our generator would go down, live power is down, battery would get us a couple hours, so we could get a generator from the outside in and then plug it in and run keep our system up and running.
This is for an amount of 4,020 even. So may we have a motion to approve said contract, Airtiv Corporation?
So moved.
Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
And just a correction there. The contract, the way they wrote this up, it's the essentials package. So it's $3,599.25. We do not have to add them both together because they sent the quote for a basic and essentials. We will do the essentials. The basic, it's minus the 420.
Okay, so it's for 3,599.25.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, let's talk about gasoline. And if you could correct me if I'm wrong, I came in this morning to review year-to-date financials. Looking at jail and law enforcement, we are up year-to-date. That's through June in the jail, 35.9%. And I'm showing, looking at Munis, we are up 25.1%. If you look going back to 2020 on the law enforcement side, we are up 40% year to date in gasoline. So maybe that's right, maybe that's wrong. I came in early this morning as we talked about it. It's probably ballpark, give or take.
It is, and I have the actual numbers. So, and a lot of that, when we have to look from year to year on the gas bill, you have to be careful because some years we get the December bill
Right.
in
Right.
physical year, but not always. So sometimes it's actually December.
Yeah, there was a 2021 had the 7 payments, but again, I just wanted to look at
Yeah.
year.
So yes, we're up. Just to kind of put things perspective, we have approximately $74,000 left in our fuel line item. We're averaging about 3,800 gallons a month in fuel, and then we don't pay what everyone else pays at the pump. So basically, we get between the contracted rate through our provider and the minus of the state, or excuse me, the federal sales tax, we get 0.293 cents per gallon off of whatever is listed at the pump when we're at the pump. So if you figure $5 a gallon, we're right about 70 cents less than that. So it'd be $4.30 a gallon what we'd be paying at $5. So if you take that $4.30, that puts us with our $3,800 or 3,800 gallons a month. We're averaging. It would take us about $17,800 a month for fuel. And to put that in perspective, we were averaging about $8,000, $7,000 and $8,000 a month. So it's more than doubled our average from this time last year to this year. So if you factor that all in, we're going to be approximately, with no changes, we're going to be approximately $5,100 or $51,000 short in our fuel line this year. We have already started doing some things. Captain Zahner has put in place a few things in patrol. We're trying to park the SUVs as much as possible and use regular cars that are more fuel efficient. We're doubling up when we can with officers, and some other things that we're doing that we really don't want to get into in the public forum to let you know that, but we are taking steps to minimize our fuel usage and consumption. Additionally, the rate that we charge for our use of our cruisers during special details was $10 an hour. We're going to move that to $15 an hour to help compensate our fuel use costs. And then the sale of vehicles, we know the vehicle that we're getting ready to sell, the vehicle that we just sold on Gov Deals, we would like that money to be able to be transferred into our salary line item.
Gasoline.
What's that?
Gasoline.
Gasoline, you said salary.
I'm sorry, fuel. Yes.
You're not trying to sell a vehicle and get more
Yeah.
salary, right?
No, we're good there.
Oh, wait, get that in the minutes. Get that in the minutes for budget time.
So
See,
we're within budget.
8 on 6/21.
But we have a couple other things. The CSEA contract that brings money in, that's a revenue line item for us. I don't know that that's been completely earmarked for anything on your end this year, but that would be another option. We're anticipating, between $20,000 to $25,000 a month that we bring in that CSEA contract that could help out with that. And then also the revenue line item from the school resource officers that has not been officially appropriated on your end, other than from our revenue line item.
I believe we could use the government services side of ARPA too, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I was saying, could we not use the government services side of ARPA for gasoline prices?
We can. We would have to determine how procurement would, the interplay.
That's true.
Interplay there, but
Yeah, that's right. Something to at least maybe look at. I mean, it's federal money, and without being too political, you could argue there's federal policies in place or not in place that have contributed to the gas increase. So, something to look at. Maybe you think it's free. Just $12 and cents, but something to look at maybe. So Jimmy, what are you asking now then? Is it just a wait and see and let's watch what the
Absolutely. We just wanted to make sure that everybody's on the same page and your understanding of where we're at, and that again, we have options. We're not here just asking for blanket money to cover it. We're doing things on ours to mitigate it. And then additionally, just to be prepared with some of those other funds that we can use to be transferred into the fuel line item. The jail's fuel has been fine. I don't think they anticipate being over just because they're
Not a ton.
trips.
Yeah.
Has many people in jail right now. So those are all good things that help them, minimize their costs there. But again, I don't think we need to take any action officially through you folks at this
We
point.
might want to at least approve putting the the proceeds from the sale of the vehicle into the gasoline line.
Yes, because by our revised code, they're obligated to be returned to the general fund, and then from the general fund, they can obviously be spent.
Oh, I'll ask for that motion.
So move.
Second.
Sheriff, was there anything major that I missed?
Commissioner Barrow,
Yes.
Commissioner Mears,
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
From the sheriff's office perspective, when we have a problem, we certainly try to make the board of commissioners aware of it. And not only do we make them aware of the problems we may have, we also try to offer possible solutions. And I think that's what we're here today to do. Although a lot of those funds we're talking about, it goes into the commissioner's general fund. So it would be putting money back in the gasoline line item, but so we're hoping that you don't have heartache with one of them, but I think that we're looking at September, or October, we might need to look seriously at being able to do something.
Sheriff, we appreciate the fact that you bring things to us ahead of time and you do bring solutions. It's very much appreciated. Doesn't always happen that way.
Miss anything?
Okay, guys. Thank you for your efforts. Always good to see you. Anything else from us? Do we have any questions? Okay, seeing nothing further at this time, we will recess and come back in at 11 where we are visited by the always wonderful mayor of Belleville. Okay, it is 11 a.m. and a very busy day on the Richland County Board of Commissioners, and we are joined by this room's favorite mayor, past, present, and future mayor of Belleville, Terry Brankus, and the one and only village administrator, Larry Wyrick, and they have a request for county ARPA funds. And so we will turn it over to them.
Actually, Larry's the one speaking today. Do we need to sit in these?
So you,
Sure.
sure, come on up to the hot seat there.
Rather go back where it is.
So we do appreciate you getting us on your agenda today, and because we know you're busy, and I won't take up much of your time, but what we would like to do, our Palm Park, which is out on Belleville North, still within the corporation limits, right now has, there's 2 pavilions, or 1 enclosed pavilion, 2 open pavilions, 2 restrooms that empty into a holding tank. This park is not currently hooked into our sanitary system. That holding tank has to be pumped out by our staff. We can get to it. When we get a lot of heavy rain, it overflows if we can't get back in there. And the tanks, I couldn't begin to tell you how old the tank might be. So what we were looking at is adding a grinder pump at that current restroom facility with a 2-inch force main that would be directional board down to Belleville North and State Route 13, which is our closest sewer main that we can tie into. And along with bringing that bathroom up to code and getting into our sanitary system, we would like to add a restroom facility. It's a prefab room. It's just 1 restroom next to our scout cabin, and tie that in with a grinder pump and a force main into the line that we run down to Belleville North. That restroom would be open year round. The restroom we currently have is only open when someone rents the pavilion. But the restroom that we would like to add would be open year round. Would also facilitate the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts. Those that are using the playground that's been recently put in there, the folks that are fishing. The cost of the estimate for that project is $274,000. And we came here today to see if we could get some assistance in the amount of $117,000 from the county's ARPA funds to help us with that project. The project would certainly clean up our park and make it better than it is. I mean, we still have some of the things that go on. Our park, the pavilions that I spoke about are rented every weekend from May through September. And we also have a few weekly rentals, but every weekend is spoken for, usually in a year in advance. The Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts have monthly meetings there. They have a camp outs through the summer.
Weekly meetings.
Weekly. Oh, they meet weekly? I thought it was monthly.
Yes, it is weekly.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Okay, so the weekly meetings. There's a new playground there that's a couple years old that draws a huge amount of people from all over the county. Even our local hotels with their extended stay guests, they tell them about our playground and they come over and then take advantage of that. We have 2 stock ponds that are catch and release there's people fishing at almost daily. We host a family fun day with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. They come up, the mayor set that up with ODNR. They come up for one day with the trailers and a whole bunch of fishing poles, archery equipment, BB guns, and they teach the children how to fish, use the archery equipment, use the BB gun safely and properly. Our local school, K through 5, they walk up to the park throughout the school year and do different functions in the park. They utilize that quite a lot. And we currently have about 2 miles of hiking somewhere around there, but we're looking into the possibility of adding some more trails to that. So it is a heavily used park by most everyone. I mean, the whole county utilizes that park now. So we just think it would be very beneficial to us if we could get some assistance from the county, upgrade that park and bring up the restroom facilities to a more sanitary system than what we have right now.
I would also have to add that I think it's even servicing outside the county because
I've met a few people from the Loudonville area. Also, a lot of the Airbnbs, that's a part of their package. When people arrive at the Airbnbs, it tells them about the park. So I've met several people there that are just visiting Richland County in the Mohican area, and they always note that park is available for if they have kids.
Well, the restrooms that are there now, you said are closed unless there's a rental.
Yeah, we only, because of that small tank, we don't keep it open all the time. We
So
only,
there's no rental. Somebody goes there and they have a family. There's no restroom.
we have a porta pot.
We have a porta pot,
unfortunately.
$165 a month.
Yeah.
It's
and
a handicap porta pot.
It would certainly eliminate that.
And
Yes.
proposal is one of the prefab drop down.
Yes.
That has a holding tank as well, right?
No, it's actually going to,
You can tie in with that.
we're going to tie into that with a grinder pump and pump it over into the force main.
Okay.
Takes it down to our sanitary line. Everything in the park at that time would be
Those are like
into our sewer.
made out of resin, like a,
It's like a fiberglass.
yeah. I've seen-
And we are actually getting this one insulated and
Pretty nice. They're easy to clean.
back system so that it can be open year round for the scouts to use. And
Will it be handicap?
all right.
Will it be handicap accessible?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
It is.
Year round.
Yes.
Yes.
Nothing that can freeze in there.
Actually, we're having heat. We're
Could be heat.
checking it to be insulated and heated. Because like the Boy Scouts are up there year round. And then we find that there's people using the trails in the wintertime, and
How do you heat that? Electric heat?
it will probably be propane. We haven't really nailed that down yet. It'll be electric or propane because there's really no gas up there. The gas, the transmission line that goes through there, the scout cabin used to be tied into. They made us unhook that, and we converted the scout cabin over to propane.
Andrew, for this to be eligible, it has to meet the water recommendations of the EPA, some kind of regulation there.
Yes, with ARPA, the key to eligibility on this project is that it would otherwise be eligible for an Ohio EPA Clean Water Drinking Fund loan. And talked to Larry. Larry talked to KEM, who confirmed that this would be otherwise eligible. So that, in other words, ARPA eligibility piggybacks on Ohio EPA loan eligibility. So I think we would have an eligible project here through the water and wastewater component of ARPA.
So if some of our other municipalities, small villages, whatever, or townships came with a similar project that was eligible for that, we could consider ARPA funds for them also.
Yes. Okay. Larry, what was the village thinking again in terms of timeline for delivering this project?
We would like to bid it by midsummer, if possible. KM's designing it right now.
Okay, so as soon as the commissioners would be able to make a decision.
And finish up the work.
Yeah, okay.
The village contributing some of their own ARPA money for this?
You want to review it, or at this point, we were gifted a grant. What was-
Yeah, we have a grant through the Ohio Clean H2O from the state. We were going to utilize that.
Okay.
To offset
How much is that?
167.5 was what we were given from, I'm sorry, 157.5.
So before we can make a decision, they need to come in with the plans.
No, before the commissioners make a decision, it will ultimately, and this could be a couple weeks, it could be as soon as a couple weeks from now, but we would put together a notice of award and a subrecipient agreement with the village. That would take some time. So I would give it 2 or 3 weeks before we get it back on the agenda.
While you're here, why don't you, I know you got some big plans for July the 3rd. Why don't you give it a plug?
We certainly do. We have a committee that raised $18,000 to cover the fireworks on July 3rd. We have 10 food trucks coming in. They're going to start serving at 12 o'clock. And that's because they want to make sure that if someone doesn't want to attend the the crazy parking at 5 o'clock, they can still get the food that they'd like. So the food trucks will be there starting at 12 o'clock on July 3rd. And then live music starts at 5 o'clock and that goes straight to the fireworks at dusk. So we have a stage that we have been lent by the Belleville Agriculture Society, and we're grateful for that. So we have 4 great artists coming in. So and we have that lineup. There's a Facebook page now. It's called Light Up the Valley. So if they need more information, you'd like to see more information on what's coming our way, the food trucks, who's singing that night, that's where they can find that information. Or you could find that information. Okay. Thank you.
All right, Belleville, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Always good to see our favorite mayor from. Seeing no further questions, make sure the minutes reflect that too. We will recess at 11:11.
Or adjourn.
Adjourn. I always say, don't I? We will adjourn at 11:11.
Thank you.